Welcome back to the studio, everybody. This is Bobby. On deck today, I have this Clayface statue from B3dserk Studios. It is very, very cool and very big. So I'm looking forward to putting this thing together. Let's get into it. I've got 2 boxes of fine-looking parts, so let's get them over to the sanding enclosure and get started. As soon as my hands are birthed into the box here, I have this new 10mm sanding disc attachment for my grinding pen, and this thing really makes the job much faster for these big flat parts that really just need to have the support dimples removed so they fit together better. This 10mm sanding disc just knocks them right out. Next step was to figure out how this thing goes together, and all the pieces kind of look very similar, so it was a bit of a challenge. But after I got it all worked out and I have them laid out on my table in an orderly fashion, I could clean up and get started on assembling the base. Before assembling the big sewer drain thing, I went ahead and primed the inside because I know that I'm not going to be able to reach it later. In order to hide the seams on this model, and there are several, I'm going to need to go ahead and assemble the statue at this stage so that I can fill all the gaps and make the entire statue seamless. So with that, let's go ahead and assemble it. As I'm finishing assembling this thing, I'm realizing that there is no way I'm going to be able to get this into this airbrush box that I currently have without taking this tub and these things and upgrading this into this. I've been needing to upgrade this airbrush box for a while, so this was a good excuse to do it as a nice little side quest. But now we can get back into working on this Clayface statue. I like to use plastic wood to fill the gaps. This stuff is great when you mix it with a little bit of water. It becomes a nice paste so that it doesn't fall through the cracks. It just kind of fills them nicely, and it doesn't shrink. So that's really nice. It just kind of stays in place where you put it. And once it's dry, it's really easy to sand. And since this guy's got so much texture in him already, I should be able to just sand these lines down and blend them into the textures of the skin here. And should work out pretty nicely. Shouldn't be able to see any of these when I'm done. And with the lines properly hidden, it is time for some prime. I like to use this Vallejo primer in black. This is my go-to. It never lets me down. And with the help of some editing, we're all done. This Vallejo primer is really great. It really flattens out nicely and gives me a nice foundation to add this chocolate brown as my first color on Clayface. Back at the paint desk, I'm going to use this Vallejo metal color steel on the sewer pipes and stuff on the base. And some flat brown from Vallejo on the poo-poo water coming out of the thing. And I went back in with the chocolate brown from Vallejo and brush coated Clayface The airbrush application just wasn't quite the saturation that I liked. This base is looking way too clean, so it's time to slap some black wash on it. I'm going to use this brown sand from Vallejo in a dry brush over the whole statue so that it can pick up some of the details and help some of those little textures and things kind of pop. Back at the airbrush box, I'm going to use this brown sand again through the airbrush this time to smooth out some of the dry brushing and to hit kind of the higher volumes on the model and just really make those high spots start to stand out. All right, let's go to work on the Batman a little bit. I've got this uniform gray from Army Painter. I'm going to use this on the gray parts of his suit, the thighs and the chest. This isn't my favorite Batman design. I like more of the black tactical Batman, but in this case, it's nice to have a pop of color, and paired with the yellow belt, I think it'll be a really nice complement to the brown in Clayface. But first I have to paint the belt white as a base coat before I put on the yellow. Continuing with the base coats, I'm going to put some of this brown rose from Vallejo on Batman's face, and this was easier said than done. In order to work around these angles, I had to crane my head in here, and led to this gem of a shot. That's some good looking nose hair right there. This is a really long shot. I don't know why I'm leaving it in here. It's getting awkward now. I'm gonna paint Batman's belt with this fiendish yellow from Army Painter. And your eyes are not deceiving you. That is a bent paintbrush. I got a curved brush along with my last set of brushes, and it really comes in handy. Now I'm going to use this matte black to trim around Batman's cape and just kind of start to clean up some of the overspray. I wanted to make the mouths on Clayface, the multiple mouths, a little bit darker and a little bit more red, so I used a red wash, and it really made a nice eerie blend between mud brown and the red. And now I can go in with some deck tan and paint all the teeth and eyes. While I'm waiting for those teeth to dry, I'm going to use this Vallejo Metal Color Chrome on the Batarangs. To add some grunge to the teeth, I'm going to use this Vallejo Game Color Sepia Wash. Basically just want to give all the teeth a nice stain, and I'll be going back and brightening them back up in just a second. For the teeth brightening, I'm going to use this Army Painter Skeleton Bone. For the bigger teeth, I'm going to go in with a very, very small dry brush and give them just a kind of a light once over. That'll help with the, I want a gradient fade from the root of the teeth out to the tip. And so the dry brush is perfect for the bigger teeth. For the smaller teeth, I'm using just a small round brush and doing some wet blending just to kind of get that gradient up towards the root of each tooth. All right, let's get some rust on this thing. I've got a couple different pigment powders from Vallejo. I've got an old rust and a brown oxide rust pigment powder. I also have a couple different washes. I've got like an oiled earth wash and just a rust wash from Vallejo. I'm going to end up doing a little bit of mixed techniques here. I'm going to use some of the pigment powder first. To kind of lay in the base color and start getting in some of the gradients, and then I'm going to go in with a wash and the washes, and just kind of start building up some tints. Just start building up some layers of rust and grime, and just kind of make sure to hit all the rivets and all the corners and anywhere rust might settle. And especially around here at the back, at the base, I wanted the concrete and the pipe to kind of blend in and kind of be rusted together. And the different tones of the rust pigment make this look really nice, I think. In the home stretch now, I'm going to use this weird elixir from Army Painter in the eyes. I want to give the eyes a little bit of a pink undertone, because when I paint them with this demonic yellow, it's going to shift the tone a little bit to orange, which I think will be nice. So first I'm going to mix the yellow with some glaze medium so that the yellow is a little bit transparent, and I can build up layers of it so I can kind of control how yellow the eyes get, and it still lets some of that pink undertone kind of show through, so it translates to that orange. It gives the eyes just a little bit of a texture, a little bit of a unevenness that helps, I think, make them feel like they're organic and there's some stuff going on in there. And the last step is to use this Vallejo Premium Gloss Varnish on all the teeth and eyes. And there certainly are a lot of teeth and eyes on this guy. And with the final varnish complete, let's take a victory lap. And that's my Clayface. Thanks for sticking it out to the end. I applaud your attention span and would like to invite you to check out the other videos on my channel. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe so you'll be notified when I am online painting. I like to stream all my paint sessions. Feel free to join us, jump in the chat, tell us a joke, ask me some questions. It's a good time. And as always, until then, take it easy.